Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And we're about 1 week into the War Within and 1 week away from Season 1. And in today's video, I wanted to show you everything that you really need to know so that you're not falling behind on anything when Season 1 actually begins. Because some stuff is kind of hidden and not obvious that I have noticed so far. So by watching this video, you're definitely going to be getting some value and getting ahead of your competition. Now, you're not far behind if you're starting out right now getting prepared for Season 1, given that we still have a week. Your main goal in this week, obviously, is to farm honor for your character in order to purchase honor gear. I covered this in my previous video for the first week if you want to see all the main details of that, but you basically want to be in this area of Dornegal. It's going to be like the front entrance area. This is where all of the PvP shenanigans is going to be going down. We have a nice cool dueling area as well in the middle here where they've actually dedicated a pillar that you can use for line of sight. So this is effectively like the new Duratar, the new PvP hangout, but you're going to go over here to the left side and you're going to see that there's 3 quartermasters. The honor quartermaster is going to sell a huge selection of gear with a bunch of different stat combinations, and this is going to be the main vendor that we are using right now for this week. And obviously if you're starting even into the season, you're going to want to do the same thing. Farm honor, get the full honor set. This is going to be your highest item level gear before getting into rated PvP combat because it scales up to 626 item level. The next step is something that's invisible. It's hidden and it's a bit frustrating. I'm hoping that they can eventually patch it. What you'll notice on the map is that you've got a blue exclamation mark on the mini map here, right? This is a weekly quest that works towards a spark for a crafted piece of gear. I think that it is worth doing this. Just in case. I haven't seen 100% because the season hasn't started officially. That's why I think it's worth doing. Just in case, make sure that you get your spark when it awards a spark in order to craft epic PvP gear, because we're going to be able to craft that directly from the vendor now as soon as the conquest vendor over here opens up, as opposed to having to wait for it. So you're going to be able to get like exact stat allocation that you're going to want to be able to get by doing that. But the invisible part is that there's another quest which is right at the front entrance of Dornegal, right here where I'm pointing my mouse, which is similarly going to award the same thing. So it's this guy right here, Rufius, and when you talk to him, you see he's got the same repeatable quests. You can do Sparks of Hollowfall. You're going to want to be doing this when the season starts. You'll see right now it's worth doing for the honor if you're farming honor gear and you want to do world PvP, but I think additionally it's going to have more rewards focused at upgrading world PvP gear. And world PvP gear, and I think I have a couple of pieces of it in my bag here somewhere. I think I got like bracers or something like that, maybe a chest piece or something like that. It was a cloak. I got one piece of world PvP gear here. You see it's only 623, but when you complete these Sparks quests and you collect bloody tokens, you'll be able to upgrade this 623 gear to a piece that is higher item level than honor gear, but lower than conquest. But because conquest is gated per week, you can only get so much conquest. These world PvP pieces serve as filler spots for your gear, effectively doubling up on the amount of gear that you're getting per week. So you do want to be farming bloody tokens, and you do want to be doing world PvP quests, and you definitely want to be doing this Sparks quest so that you can upgrade these as you're going throughout your gearing route and just effectively doubling your gear. Now, of course, main set pieces can become tier set bonuses. So generally speaking, I think buying conquest main set pieces in order to get your set bonuses is the right strategy. And then use these world PvP pieces to fill in your off gear that's going to be the most expensive, being like cloak, boots, and belt that have your ideal stat combinations. This way you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're working towards your 4-piece and you're upgrading your overall item level at the same time week to week. That's basically going to be my strategy for this. I think that this is going to be the most effective strategy, which brings us into the next point, which is kind of invisible. If you open your map, even if you have war mode on, which I don't know if you can see, you can open it up in your talent window, and then you'll see this little button on the bottom right. If you've never done this before, you want to make sure that this little button is enabled. This is war mode. But what you'll notice is that when you look at your world map, wait, did they change this? They might have patched this, because I gave this as feedback a little while back, which was if you open your map while you're in the main city, you won't be able to see PvP quests on the map. So right now I can see a PvP quest, which is going to reward gold to me. And you're obviously going to get bloody tokens for killing players in this area, and you can gain other rewards. Curious, I want to go look at another zone and see if maybe they actually patched this in, or maybe it's because I just clicked my war mode on and off. But you can see there's another world PvP quest right here in Hollowfall. I've actually never done this one before. I'm definitely going to be going and checking this one out at some point on my stream, which is linked in the description down below. But these world PvP quests are what you're going to be getting the world PvP gear from, with bloody tokens from the vendor that's going to appear in here. And the last one that didn't generally show up was that there's like a hidden PvP quest. You can see when we're in Ashkahet, there's the City of Threads in the bottom left. You see when I drag my mouse down and it highlights over? When you go into the City of Threads, there's actually a PvP quest, which my camera's kind of covering over here, so I'll move this down a bit, but this little bottom left area, basically every time you log into the game, you want to look at your map, go, okay, there's a world PvP quest here for me to do, I'm going to go do that. Okay, there's a world PvP quest here for me, I'm going to do that. There's none here, so I can avoid that zone for now. There's none here right now, so I can avoid that. And then triple check the City of Threads. Mind you, you do need to do a prerequisite quest, which I have already done, which is located in the Weaver's Lair. It'll have a purple diamond on it, like this. So if you have this and you've completed the campaign, obviously I think you need to do up to a certain point, complete that little purple triangle and it'll give you a bonus world quest, which is going to be spawning from here. Now I have seen that there are additional ways to get extra sockets. Those kind of just randomly drop to you, or you can buy them for honor. Everyone seems to be like super, pent up and anxious about how the sockets are going to work. I would not worry about it. I don't think it's going to be a big deal for PvP. Now, PvEers, on the other hand, want to be getting conquest pieces with sockets on them for raid, which I'm actually really excited about because it means that PvEers are likely going to be dabbling in the new Battleground Blitz mode a lot, and the queues might be popping off similar to Shadowlands as a result of that. So I'm actually really excited for what the competition is going to be like when the season actually starts because of that. But as a main PvP player, just by playing the game, you're randomly going to be awarded these sockets. I would recommend saving them to put them on like your best in slot gear, which would be conquest pieces, or whether they're crafted or not. Doesn't matter. It's the highest end level conquest pieces with your best stat allocation. Save those sockets so you can put them onto those pieces of gear. And that way you're going to always be basically, working towards your best in slot. We obviously can't buy weapons immediately. Everyone is going to get a weapon. There's going to be no bad RNG on that for anybody. I can't remember what week it is after the season starts, but there's going to be a week where a quest pops up, I think, in this PvP area, and you're going to be able to just immediately work towards a conquest weapon. And as soon as you pick one, then the weapons go on the vendor if you want to pick a weapon for a different spec or a different build or something like that in the future. But it's going to be great. Like, it's going to be awesome. If you're starting from scratch, I would recommend like pieces to go after is your trinket bonus, because this is going to be your most powerful stat boost. You can see with the set bonus, 12% more intellect and 5% more stamina. So whenever you're gearing up, and you're starting from nothing, right? No honor gear, get the trinket bonus first, and generally like the weapon. These are just your highest stat value pieces in order to give you like the biggest boost, so when you jump into battlegrounds you're not getting bullied as much in that regard. But we've also got comp stomp, I think, for at least one more day. So if you farm this out now, you can be able to farm it even regardless of gear, although the bots can actually be pretty difficult. But I would recommend definitely getting into comp stomp. But those are the steps. Make sure you come here to Dornegal, set your Hearthstone, make sure that everything's going on in this little PvP area. You can duel some players if you want to get set up for it. Pick up these 2 weekly quests, very similar to Dragonflight. These are basically the same setup as Dragonflight, just they've changed locations and one of them doesn't show up on the map. Maybe it will when it awards a spark, I don't know, or maybe they're going to have to hotfix that. They hotfix the PvP quest, but if you ever open your map and you're in the city and you don't see any PvP quests, because that has happened to me, just leave the city and then look at your map and the PvP quest will be there. Just do that just in case, because it has happened to me and I'll be like, oh, I guess there's no PvP quest today, that's weird. But there's always at least 2, I think, on a reset. I don't remember if it's a 24-hour reset or not, but there is always 2 PvP quests, generally speaking. Maybe sometimes 3 if you've got the City of Threads unlocked through the campaign and you're making sure to check this little part out of your map on top of that. So just a couple of little hidden things. Wanted to give you guys the gist of it for what I'm doing as far as gearing, how I'm getting ready for this, so that you guys are ready for it. Nothing catches you off guard. You're not making any mistakes in your gearing so that you feel like you ended up falling behind because you did something wrong or you missed something. So that was the main purpose of the video. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.